And we are live. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Chosen Wisdom Football, a channel for the football purists, a channel for the critical thinkers. Welcome to the channel, people. I hope you're having an excellent day, an amazing day. There is a lot for us to get through today. Benjamin Sesko, people. Apparently, Benjamin Sesko he's chosen Man United, people. He's chosen Man United, and Man United has chosen Benjamin Sesko. There is a lot for us to talk about with regards to that situation, guys. It looks as if we are going to get Sesko and not Ollie Watkins. I know some of you guys will have a lot to say about that, so leave your comments, share your opinions as usual. Newcastle United are still in the race, people. They are still in the race. Nothing has been decided yet, so like I said, people, strap in, but it does look like Sub-Zero, yes, Sub-Zero Sesko could be coming to Old Trafford. Also, breaking news over the last few hours, could Hojlund be going to Leipzig? Where is Hojlund going? Is he leaving? We're going to talk about the latest Hojlund news, people. Also, earlier on today, Watkins apparently has made a move. Ollie Watkins is showing intent on going to Manchester United, and exactly what I said the other day, in an ideal world, Man United want to pit Watkins and Sesko against each other, which it looks like may be developing as we speak, guys. Also on today's show, we have Luke Shaw. Yes, Luke Shaw has made some comments, some very interesting comments, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to want to know what Luke Shaw has said about Amorim. Donnarumma. We know that United are in for Lemens, but could United actually land Donnarumma? If we can get Donnarumma into this club, this would be a very, very decent summer. We're going to talk about the Donnarumma rumors, the Donnarumma news. We have also some quotes from Xerxes. Xerxes has been speaking to the media. We haven't seen Xerxes in pre-season. He has been injured. We're about to potentially get another striker in, but Xerxes has been speaking to the media, so we're going to have a look at what Xerxes has been saying. And also, guys, we have more news regarding the restructuring of the club. Manchester United hierarchy has, well, they've hired a new head of data. They've also hired a new head of culture. Yes, people, restructuring again, and we're going to talk about it. What does this mean? What does all of this restructuring mean? So today, like I said on the show, it's really going to be about Sesko. We're really going to talk about Sesko, what he could bring to the club. The fact that we're potentially not going to get Ollie Watkins. We're going to talk about whether Hojlund could be sold. Is Hojlund going the other way? What's happening with Luke Shaw? Is Luke Shaw leaving? Donnarumma potentially coming to Manchester United? And much, much more. So guys, as usual, on entry, smash that like. It's a brand new channel. We're only getting started here, guys. There's a lot for us to achieve as a brand new channel. As usual, big up the chat. Big up British Bulldog, always here, always representing. Respect, bro. Always showing up. I appreciate you. Let's quickly have a look at the chat before we get into the stories of the day. British Bulldog is saying, not Ollie. Ollie. No. In a Sesko wonderland. Mateta and Sesko. British Bulldog, you're not going to let the Mateta thing down. Listen, I will say to you, British Bulldog, I would love to get Mateta. It doesn't look like it's happening. But It looks as if Sesko is the guy, people. Anyway, let's get into the detail. Let's find out what is being said and what is actually happening. Big up Teklish as well in the chat. So yeah, let's talk about it, guys. So Florian Plettenberg. Let's start with Florian. Manchester United held concrete talks with Benjamin Sesko during RB Leipzig training camp and also on site, as reported. So we haven't just called him, we've had talks with him directly, which is a big thing, people. There is and always was a feeling that Sesko would choose United over all other current options. Christopher Vivell is very eager to bring Sesko in. Newcastle representatives were also on site to discuss a potential move for Sesko. Talks ongoing, decision soon. And that was tweeted at, let's scroll, 3:30 this afternoon. So we have moved very quickly. Yesterday's show, I did say that United were moving in on Sesko. I also made it clear that Ollie Watkins is still a possibility. I also made it clear that in an ideal world, United want to do what Arsenal did with Gyökeres and Sesko. Go for both of them to see which one blinks first, which deal can be struck for the cheapest, which one is the most affordable. And at the moment, it is this deal. At the moment, Leipzig are making it more palatable and increasing our ability to make this deal. They're making it easier for us to do this deal. So at the moment, United are in the race. They're in front. They're in number one, pole position to land Benjamin Sesko. And what does this mean for Newcastle? What does this mean for Newcastle? Newcastle wanted Mbumo. We took him. Newcastle wanted Cunha. We took him. Newcastle are potentially about to lose Isak to Liverpool, and now potentially lose in the race, as it seems, for Sesko. So Newcastle are the richest club in the Premier League. That's a fact. They are by far the richest club in the league, and they're losing out on all their main targets. It is a crazy summer for Newcastle, but for United, they had a clear choice. Premier League proven, but more expensive and older with Watkins, or no Premier League proven, younger, more longevity, more resale value with Sesko. It's also important, guys, to remind you how Christopher Vivell, and I've said this on his channel before, Christopher Vivell is a trusted, very trusted human being in the club. Him and Jason Wilcox work closely together. There is a divide, as I've said many times, with regards to who wants Watkins and who wants Sesko within the club. I think there is a small amount in it. Either one, I think the club will take. Either one who is affordable, the club will take. And even though we have advanced on this deal and we are advancing on this deal, guys, I still believe in an ideal world, the club would get or want to get Watkins. But the Watkins fee, the fee that Villa are touting for Watkins, is just way too expensive for United. So, very, very interesting situation. Some of you guys didn't want Sesko anyway, but it does seem as if United are all in for Sesko. And the good thing is, Sesko wants Manchester United. Let's see what else has been said. Ben Jacobs has also weighed in and said, exclusive, United open formal talks for Benjamin Sesko after sending a secret delegation to Germany. Well, I guess it's not so secret anymore, is it? It's out there. But Christopher Vivell driving, so he's also reporting on the fact that Christopher Vivell is pushing for this move. He's also saying that Ruben Amorim has put forward Ollie Watkins. So this ties into what I have been saying, that some people within the club want Sesko and some people within the club want Watkins, and for both different reasons. And both reasons are valid in my opinion. I understand the logic behind both views, both camps. So it also goes on to say that Newcastle are still in the race. So while Sesko seems like he's favoured and moved to Manchester United, and we also got to remind ourselves that Newcastle have Champions League football now. They have more to offer football-wise potentially than United. But yet still, Cunha and Bumo and other players have chosen Man United over Newcastle. That is a very, very good thing. It shows that as much as, we finished 15th and United are in the mud, we're not in a good position right now. We're not in a good place as a football club. The name still brings prestige. It still means something at the moment. So both clubs are hoping that the price drops to 70 million euros. And this is quite interesting with regards to the price, because we've been told that the price has already dropped to about 65 million euros, assuming that one of the clubs that come in, Sesko wants to go for. So we've seen and we've heard other journalists say that the price could drop to even 65 or 60 million euros. Now, 70 million euros is about 59, 60 pounds. I wish 60 million pounds, I should say. So that is more or less the same price that Villa have quoted for Ollie Watkins. And I guess the question is, for you guys as well, if Ollie Watkins and Sesko are the same price and there's an 8-year age gap, who are you buying? Who are you buying? So that's Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs reporting on that. Very interesting. Let's see what the comment section is saying before we move on. British Bulldog says Mateta will outscore whoever we get. Osman, big up yourself, Osman, in the chat. I hope you're having a good day, Oz. I hope you're feeling good. If Newcastle lose out on Sesko, it might help stop Isak going to Liverpool. So I'm all for it. I just hope United can break down Leipzig's silly games. Good point, Osman. Good point, Osman. At the moment, there is craziness happening with Isak. Isak is not training. Apparently, Isak is ignoring calls. He is gone AWOL. Now, when a player does this, it's difficult to bring the player back, in my opinion. For the player to come back after doing all of that, you have to probably give him a crazy contract, put him on 250 grand a week, put a release clause in his new contract to make him happy of maybe 150 million pounds or something. Something has to break with the Isak Newcastle situation. For Newcastle to keep Isak now, given how toxic it has become, I don't know, Osman. I think it will be hard, but I hope what this does is cause Newcastle to be like, do you know what? We can't sell Isak. That means Liverpool won't get Isak, which is good news for all of us. It's good news for all of us. But what I think might happen is that Isak will still go to Liverpool, and if Newcastle lose out on Benjamin Sesko, they will probably go and get Jackson from Chelsea. I believe Jackson from Chelsea probably is the best bet for Newcastle. Plus, Newcastle are rich. Newcastle won't need to do down payments and all these things. They can go to Chelsea and even now go to Leipzig and give them the full amount in cash because they have that money. So the Newcastle situation with regards to strikers is interesting. Let's pay attention to what happens to Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea. Let's see what else is there. Breaking news. This is Fabrizio Romano as well, guys, saying that Manchester United are offering Leipzig the opportunity to include a player in the deal for Benjamin Sesko. Rasmus Hojlund is a dream target for Leipzig. Wow. Listen to me. If they want Hojlund and Hojlund wants to go, let's do this. Let's make this happen. When I saw this, I was like, if we can get rid of Hojlund, a striker who is clearly surplus to requirements, a striker who we clearly do not want anymore, if we can offload him to Leipzig and get Benjamin Sesko for, I don't know, £30 million plus Hojlund, we got to try to do that. We got to try to do that. My issue is that I don't think Hojlund wants to leave. I think he wants to dig his heels in. I think he'll fight for his place. Or at least he wants to fight for his place. But the thing is, if we do get a striker, he automatically becomes second choice. So either he's going to have to be happy with second choice and hardly getting any game time, or he's going to have to leave. It's literally that simple when it comes to Hojlund. In my opinion, I think you guys kind of know where I stand with Rasmus Hojlund. I think that in an ideal world, he would be coached more. He would be developed more, because we brought him in as a developmental striker. We haven't been able to do that. It's been 2 years already, and I haven't seen much improvement. Maybe it's probably time for him to leave. This is where I'm at with regards to Hojlund, and that's probably why I was leaning towards more Ollie Watkins, because Ollie Watkins, we know what we're going to get. He's Premier League proven. Getting Sesko could potentially, we don't know yet. We don't know this, people, but Sesko could be a Rasmus Hojlund in disguise. I think Sesko is better technically than Hojlund. He is. He's a better footballer than Hojlund. So from that standpoint, I don't think it will end up as bad, but he's still an unknown entity. He doesn't score. He hasn't set the Bundesliga on fire at all. He hasn't got more than 20 goals in his career. So we're not getting a prolific striker here. Let's be clear. We're getting somebody who decent link play, quite tall, got a bit of speed on him, got a good shooting technique, doesn't score a lot of goals. You know, that's who we're getting. We're not getting somebody who routinely bags goals. He can score goals, and we can mold him into that, you know, that player in the box that scores goals, but that's not really Sesko's game. And I think we all need to understand, because one thing about United fans, we buy a player and we assume that player is one way. We assume that player is X, Y, Z, and then we understand slowly over time that the player isn't what we expected. How about you go and understand what the player is first before we put some stupid expectations on somebody? If he can't dribble, don't expect the player to come to United and start dribbling. If he can't pass, understand that the player cannot pass. Don't expect him to come to Man United and then be Paul Pogba or Michael Carrick. So we need to understand who Sesko is, so we don't put stupid expectations on him. However, if we're spending that kind of money again on a striker, we do need, and at this stage in our development as a club, we do need to set some sort of expectations on this player. So more news on Rasmus Hojlund. Going to Leipzig. Rasmus Hojlund is a dream target for RB Leipzig, but the player would love to stay at Manchester United and is not entertaining any negotiations with other clubs at this stage. I'm not lying, guys. There's loads of things I would love. I would love £1 million. I would love to live in a mansion. I would love so many things. So Rasmus Hojlund is saying that he would love to stay at Manchester United. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't love to stay here? Like, look at what Luke Shaw is doing. Luke Shaw isn't going nowhere. He's been here for 11 years and he's only played 5 years worth of football. Like, of course, you'd love to stay here, but we don't want you to stay here. You need to leave. If you stay, which is fine, if you ignore all the attention you're given by Inter Milan, if you reject this Leipzig approach, if you keep ignoring all these clubs, then you're not going to play football and you're just going to stay here. So you choose Hojlund right now, because one thing I'm happy about, I know some of you guys like Hojlund, but I'm so happy that we are seriously in for a striker and we won't have to see Hojlund anymore. That brings happiness to my heart. In my opinion, one of the worst signings we've made. £75 million, and it's not his fault. He didn't ask for this fee. We should have developed him. And the thing about Hojlund, the funny thing about Hojlund is, if he goes to Germany, a league that plays with a high line, just like Timo Werner came from that league and others, if he goes there, I think he would be fine. I think under the tutelage, under the development of Leipzig, playing in that German league with that high line, which is about counter-attacking football, it suits him to a T. And I think he will do all right there. I think he'll be fine, but just not at Manchester United. So let's keep an eye on this Hojlund situation. We did hear early in the window, I should say, rumours about him leaving. Then they went quiet, really, really quiet. Now that we're in for a striker and we're taking this seriously, we're not just, looking around with our binoculars. We're now talking to clubs and talking to the player. So we are actually and factually going to get a striker. Let's pay attention to and keep an eye out with regards to this Rasmus Hojlund situation. So very, very intriguing. This tweet is also quite an interesting tweet, and I think what this tweet does is circle everything and put everything together, because I did say, and even now, guys, even as we're moving closer to the Sesko deal, I still think Watkins is still a consideration. I still think it is. Don't rule out, guys, Man United pulling out of this Sesko deal last minute and then doing a final bid for Watkins. I don't think that is outside the realm of possibility. So this tweet, like I said, very interesting, says Watkins to communicate with Villa that he wants to move, and if United bid, he wants it to be accepted. Understand the club is looking to get a deal for around 45 million. That's Manchester United. With Watkins pushing, it will put this in position where it would be difficult for Villa to turn down. And I've always said, and the tweet goes on to say, positive as player wants this to happen. So Ollie Watkins wants Manchester United. This tweet was early on in the day. So this tweet happened before Manchester United went in on Sesko. So this happened. We put it out there that we are looking to purchase him for £45 million. We don't want to spend £60 million. We've also put it out there that Ollie Watkins wants the move to happen. We've also put it out there that if Watkins pushes for this move, we believe that this deal can happen for £45 million. So essentially, just to summarize this tweet, we want Ollie Watkins to start doing whatever he needs to do to make sure Aston Villa know that he wants to leave. We want Ollie Watkins to make it clear to Villa he wants to leave, and we want Ollie Watkins to push, to dance for us. Like I said yesterday, we want Ollie Watkins to push through the move. And if he does that and Villa come to us, listen, if Villa come to Man United right now and say, okay, we've called your bluff, not called your bluff, we see that you're trying to get Sesko, and after you get Sesko, you won't be in for a striker, and Ollie Watkins only wants Man United, so okay, we're going to sell you Watkins for 45 million. If Aston Villa approach Man United and say that, I think we will pull out the Sesko deal and we will get Watkins. I still think that is the case, people. Now, I want Watkins, but it's not by like a mile. I want Watkins slightly over, or I prefer Watkins slightly over Sesko. It's not. It's like a 51% to 49% thing. So if we get Sesko, I won't be angry. But I know a lot of people in the club, including the manager, want Watkins. In a way, if Ruben Amorim wants Watkins and we're going to give him Sesko, you can see that as a good thing in a way, because we're not just buying every and any player this manager wants. We're buying players for the club as well. And I think the best clubs do take into consideration what the manager wants, but also try to future-proof. This manager might not be here forever. So you're going to have to get players that will play well for any manager, right? Not just a player that only the manager can use. So in a way, you could argue getting Sesko and the manager wanting Watkins shows that Ineos aren't just always listening to the manager and just giving him everything, which, you know, some of you guys will argue is a good thing. So I get that. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this situation. I said at the beginning of the week that this week will be about Watkins and Sesko. And Wednesday, we are in the thick of it right now. We're in the thick of it right now, people. We could have a here we go on Friday. We could. This is how quickly this has moved. And like I said last time, one of the reasons why this has moved quickly, because in an ideal world, United would have Watkins and Sesko working on both deals later in the window. Less time, which means hopefully we can reduce the fee, right? But Newcastle and the Isak situation has forced Newcastle to approach Sesko. We now know that Sesko is available. We were told £90 million before. Now we're getting told 70 million euros. So the fee for Sesko has decreased and we now know he's available. And he's somebody we have been watching for 3 years. So United are in a position where they want both players. They know they're only going to get one. So whoever gives us the best deal, we will get that player. So I like this. I like what United are doing. We are moving like a big club. The way that we've done this, the way that we've told Newcastle to sit down, be quiet, the way that we've got both Watkins and now Benjamin Sesko both twerking for us. Sesko wants United, Watkins wants United. That is the situation that I keep telling you guys that United want. United want the situation where both of these top strikers want United and United get to pick. United get to pit them against each other. United get to say, okay, whoever gives us the lowest fee, we will take that player. At the moment, RB Leipzig, they've bitten. RB Leipzig need to raise 100 million euros. That's a fact, people. They need to raise 100 million euros by selling Sesko and Xavi Simons. They're on the verge of selling Simons, which means the remaining amount needs to come from this Sesko deal. Aston Villa, they're in PSR trouble. They need to sell. They need to generate money. If they take the piss, if they take long, if they take another week, then another week, how much time does Villa have to sell players, right? Correct their PSR problems and then go out and buy players. Villa haven't really bought anybody. So they need to get a move on Villa. And the longer they take, the more they demand for Watkins, the more United are going to be like, cool, that's fine. You demand 60 million for him, we'll walk away and we'll get Sesko. So I think United have played this well. For once, I think they played this well. Similar to how Arsenal played Sesko and the Gyökeres situation, we are doing the same. So big up yourself, AP7. Yeah, man. Hope you're doing well, AP. How you doing, man? Let me know what you're thinking about this Sesko situation, AP. So yes, let's see what else. All right, so yeah, big up AP, bro. Big up. The feeling The feeling inside of Newcastle is that Sesko is likely to go to Manchester United. So Newcastle have internally conceded at the moment, it seems like. So let's read on a bit more, people. Newcastle have made an informed inquiry for Fulham's Rodrigo Muniz. Intermediaries have been involved in discussions and the fee of £40 million is mooted. So Newcastle are already looking at alternatives. Newcastle need to get a move on. Newcastle need a striker in now. Isak is causing them problems, and quickly Newcastle seems to have pivoted. Listen, this has been an embarrassing window for Newcastle. They've qualified for the Champions League, and all they've got is Elanga. Really. They're about to lose their best player in Isak. They lost out to Cunha, lost out to Mbumo, and now about to lose out to Sesko. If you're a Newcastle fan, my heart goes out to you and your family. No, I'm joking, not your family, but to you. Because there's only one United. There's only one United in the Premier League. And it's in Manchester. Get that into your heads. People thought we couldn't do shit because we weren't in the Champions League. Everyone was making fun of us. Now, say something now. Say something. Say something. Say something. AP says, we need something. I'm happy with Watkins or Sesko. I just need Rasmus gone. I'm with you, AP. Sesko better than what we have. I'm with you. I'm with you with that one. It's come to a point where, yes, there is two camps, Sesko and Watkins, and they do bring different things. And yes, we can talk all day about that. But I've seen Hojlund for 2 years fall over, back up into defenders, fall over. I can't see that anymore, people. I don't want to live that life anymore. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to witness that every Saturday at 3 p.m. I don't. It's not fair on us. So we need another striker in. We do. So while I'm slightly in for Watkins, yes, let's get a striker in. Let's get one in now so we can just keep it moving. And then get your goalkeeper and then get your midfielder and keep it moving. That's all I want. I'm a simple man. You know? And I think we could all agree we need to wrap this up quick. What's Turkish saying? Turkish said, I think players will be happy to not overplay this season. Yeah, they love United, but it's not the end of the world. If they're not in Europe, for many players, they will only have a maximum of 2 games a week. Guys, a good point. We haven't really spoken about the fact that we're going to play 1 game a week, and maybe if you're in the first team, I mean, if you're in the second team and you're not playing, you might not be happy. But if you're the second team and you know you only got 1 game a week, you might be happy. I mean, technically speaking, that's less work, right? You know, but it depends. Yeah, British Bulldog said there's 3 camps. Mateta is also on his own little island. There's 2 camps and Mateta on a desert island or deserted island by himself. But yeah, technically 3 camps, 3 ideas, 3 types of approaches to the striker market, which includes, as British Bulldog says, there is a lot of people in the fan base that want Mateta. It's not just British Bulldog in the chat. He's not by himself. A lot of people in the fan base want Mateta. That's a fact. And he's not been spoken about at all, and we're not in for him. I'll always say that surprises me. It really does surprise me. But let's keep it moving, people. Let's keep it moving. Let's see what else we got for you guys. Let's see what else you got. So that is a Sesko situation. I think we've spent a good maybe 20 minutes, I believe, at least half an hour on the Sesko situation. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you think we're going to get it over the line? Or do you think there's still a twist in this? I'm prepared for there to be another twist in this story. I'm prepared for, once United realize and you know that Sesko only wants United and United wants Sesko, we will then fall back. We're not going to put in a bid. We might be like, cool, He only wants us. We want him. We've secured that. Now let's go back to Watkins and see what happens. And then in a week's time, we can be like, cool. We've agreed terms with both players. We've kind of know what both clubs kind of want. And then they go back to the boardroom, make a final decision, and then boom. Don't be surprised if this Watkins thing isn't fully dead. As much as I'm getting excited, as much as we're all saying, here we go, might be soon with Sesko. Yes, that's also true. But I don't think this Watkins situation is fully dead. I don't think it is. So let's keep an eye on that situation. Anyway, guys, Luke Shaw has spoken to the media. Let's move on. Before we move on, let's quickly see what's happening in the chat, if anything. Palace switched off their phone. I told you, Palace switched off their phone. Emails are bouncing back. You know that flipping out of office. That's all you're hearing. That's all you're getting. Out of office email from Crystal Palace. You go to the ground. You look through the window at the training ground. It's all dark. There's no one there. Like, Palace has shut up shop. The Heze thing's gone quiet. The Heze to Arsenal thing's gone quiet. So I don't know what's going on with Palace, guys. Palace, they're in hiding. They're proper hiding. But we move. Let's have a look at what Luke Shaw has been saying. And the reason why I want to talk about this very quickly is because I believe Luke Shaw should be one of the 5 people that we want out the club. How the hell do we want Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford all out the club before Luke Shaw, who doesn't even play? He doesn't even play for us. He plays a few games a year and that's it. So I want Luke Shaw far away from this team, and I'm happy. I'm happy, or should I say content, with the fact that the manager started Heaven at left centre back. And the manager has come out many times. When he's spoken about Luke Shaw recently, he said Luke Shaw is a world-class talent. He said this, but he also went on to say that he's got a lot of competition for that left centre back role. He's making it known to Luke Shaw that you're not going to walk into the team. You're not going to walk into the team. So I'm not a Luke Shaw fan. I think he should be one of the people that we try to get at the club. And that is why I find that some of his quotes, well, you tell me. You guys tell me. This is his, quotes on Amram. I think his mentality, his demands, he's the right man. Interesting. He's extremely tough on the group. He leaves no stone unturned, and I think there are no stragglers in this group anymore. That is what I want to talk about more than anything. He's extremely tough on the group. He leaves no stone unturned, and I think there are no stragglers in this group anymore. Huh? I'm thinking, hold on a second. Are you a player at Manchester United, first and foremost, calling all the other players that are about to be sold stragglers? Are you calling essentially your fellow teammates out in the open? You're calling them stragglers. That's the first thing. I think that's very, very interesting to say. Second thing, how are you the biggest straggler in the club? You don't play games. You only want to get fit for finals, and then you're back injured again. You don't run. You're lazy. You're usually overweight. You, of all people, are calling other people stragglers. The level of bullock-a-doo-doo in that statement. And what's the term I'm looking for when you can't see yourself? No. The level of, he's talking about something that he's even doing. When you don't identify. No, you guys will know. But the level of not knowing yourself. it's weird that he's saying these things technically about himself, right? He goes on to say, I think everyone has to put the team first. He's made that very clear. I don't think you put the team first, bro. This is, I'm living in a different world. You know, when somebody who's got loads of hair and or says something like, I hate hair. Or someone who's got fingers say, I hate fingers. I'm like, bro, are you all right? You've got, like, this is weird to me. I think he's picking players on how he feels will be best for the team and what's his choice. And that's his choice. Well, yeah, oh, great. We're fully behind him and fully behind his ideas and what he wants to implement in this team. We feel like a real team, especially this preseason. Okay, that's fine. But, you know, when it's like, Luke Shaw is like the last person I want to hear talk about stragglers, getting rid of people, being behind the manager, getting used to any tactics. Bro, I remember when Jose Mourinho was saying that he had to hold your hand because up here, and we all could see it, up here, his football IQ is not that great, Luke Shaw. I always say this about Luke Shaw, yeah? Technically, as a footballer, he's actually technically sound. Cross the ball, shoot. He is sound. As his technique is good, and this is what people talk about. He's good on the ball, Luke Shaw. But his attitude and the way he approaches football is all wrong. He is the one that's lazy. He doesn't run anywhere. He jogs everywhere. He's always injured. He made so many mistakes when he came back from injury in the last few games. He cost us the Europa League. Yes, Bruno gave the ball away, but he should have done better with Brendan Johnson. He should have. When he came back and played some games for us at the end of last season, he cost us games. I do not want to see this guy at left centre back again. I do not. So let me see what the chat is saying. AP says, United should have a 2-year limit. If you suck after that, pack your bags and go. AP, I've been told that that's what Ineos have put in place. Ineos are saying if you're not doing anything in 2 years while you're here, then you got to go. So I believe that is actually a thing, AP. British Bulldog says, let's go, Sesko. Yep. Yo, TK in the building. Hope you're doing well, TK. I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. TK says Luke Shaw is trying to save face and trying to keep his job. Plain and simple. His twerk for Amarim is hard. Well, you see, that's why I like TK. TK just comes, he cuts through all this crap and says what he needs to say. And I agree with TK, fully. That said, Shaw represents the old United ways and he must go. Yes, TK, I agree. Milton, big up Milton. I hope you're doing well, Milton, my friend. True, Luke Shaw has no place speaking like that. Bro, it's imposter. He's an imposter, bro. Like, I don't want to use the phrase imposter syndrome because I don't think that's a right term to use right here. But what you doing? Just sit down, Luke. Just sit down. Sit down. Go over there. Sit in a corner. Don't speak. That's it. That's what we want. Wow, look at that tweet there. I hope he didn't get injured during the interview. My gosh. TK, if Shaw was a proper player, injury-free and a leader, he'd have all right to say this. There you go. You guys know what I'm leading to, what I'm getting at. Shaw was lucky even as an England squad player. He never did much. I agree. See, we unanimously agree about Luke Shaw clearly in the chat. So we can move on, guys. We can move on to a different story. What's this?
Quote is missing from that, but he said it before he said all that shit.
All right. So apparently this quote is missing from the first quote I just read out to you. So this is in addition to what he said. And in fact, I think this part of it came before the quote that we just read out. So let's see what else Luke Shaw has said. It's not hard to see from the outside what it's been like. A lot of the time I've been here over the last few years, it's been extremely negative. it can be quite toxic. The environment is not healthy at all. That's important. Listen, that is, listen, for a footballer to talk about so much emotion, that's loads of emotive words he's used there. You know, extremely negative, toxic, the environment is not healthy. He's sounding, yeah, like an emotional eater. You know the stories that came out about him and certain players having burgers and chips and not eating healthy a few years ago. Luke Shaw, he speaks like he needs an arm around his shoulder, like he needs emotional support. And if he doesn't get that, he's going to binge eat. Sorry, I'm not... Sorry. Oh, it needs to be stay professional. And he's going to binge eat. And then he goes on to say there are no stragglers in this group anymore. So I don't know, guys. I don't know, man. This shush. Why did United send Luke Shaw out to the media? Why did they do that? Why him? And why is he saying these things? It's like he wants to be hated. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I think when you hear sometimes a player speak, just read. Sometimes you can read between the lines and kind of understand what kind of person they are. And I've said this many times on my channel. I have direct links to this guy. I'm not going to say I know people who are in this man's family, right? So I have spoken to Luke Shaw's family about Luke Shaw, factually. And that is one of the reasons why I have an opinion about him that is not too positive. Because my idea and my opinion of him was cemented after I spoke at length to some of his family members who gave me a bit of insight about his character and so on and so forth. And when I spoke to them, I was like, yeah, everything I kind of feel about Luke Shaw is kind of true. So, interesting tweets. I thought it would be interesting for you guys to read, to know what Luke Shaw has been saying to the media. You guys will make your own mind up. You guys will have your own opinions on Luke Shaw, where he fits in. Is he going to get game time this season? Where Heaven fits in, where Martinez fits in. They're all fitted at left centre back. Who's going to get that left centre back role? Will it be Lenny Euro? You know. Let's see what the chat is saying before we move on. Milton says Shaw was lucky. Even as an England squad player, he never did much. Yep. TK says a strong England squad could cover up Shaw's mistake. Yep. Jerome Woods, big up Jerome. Big yourself up, my G. They sent Shaw out as he is the longest serving United player. That's, bro, you're right. Jerome's right. He's been here 11 years. It's crazy that Luke Shaw is the longest serving United player right now. Milton, it is very much mindset. Yes, Milton. I didn't go into detail, but essentially what I'm alluding to is his mentality. Like, I'll say one thing that, his family member said to me. One of his family members said that they were so surprised, and I'll never forget this. They're still, even to this day, very, very, very surprised that he made it as a professional footballer, because he is the laziest person that they know. And that's coming from his family that I spoke to. That's insane. I thought to myself, well, you shouldn't even be saying this to me. Like, how do you know I'm not going to go report it to the media? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, it's not good. TK says, Wiz, I picked up a 1991 European Cup Winners' Cup final Manchester United white Adidas shirt at Adidas in Vegas. It's a banger and we should use it as a away shirt. Bro, I need to see what that is. Type that in. Let's see. 1991 European Cup Winners. Oh. Let's put it up. TK, you talking about this one? Let's see if we can get it up. TK, are you talking about this one on the screen right now? Is that the one, yeah? Is that the one, bro? Let me know. Let me know. All right. $60 is not bad, you know, because that's what, like, what, £50, 45, £50 or something. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah. Okay, that's wavy. That's wavy, bro. I like that. Retro. Short sleeve. Okay, say nothing. Do you know what? I might have to look at some of these retro kits, you know, because it's one of them ones where I'm not buying no kit yet from a time where we're not winning anything. Like, what is that doing in my house or on my body? That shouldn't be on my body. So I get it. If you're gonna get a kit, get a retro kit. Get it from a time where we were actually doing some stuff. You know. All right. I didn't report this when I originally heard about it. I heard about this a couple of days ago, before the media and the journalists heard about it. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I do understand some stuff, hear some stuff, and I arrive to certain conclusions sometimes before some of these stupid journalists. And I was told about this situation about 2 days before everyone now starts reporting it. But the reason why I didn't say anything to you guys is because I don't. What is this? Like, Donnarumma just won the Champions League, and yes, I know PSG are potentially looking for another goalkeeper, but I can't see a world where Donnarumma, and I could be wrong here, guys, leaves PSG, where he just won the Champions League, and goes. And I know I just said that Man United have a big name and people still want to come here. I know I just said that. But you can't come here after winning the Champions League with PSG and being part of that side. That's crazy. So I didn't report on it, but more and more people are starting to talk about this. Another reason why I haven't reported on this Donnarumma to Man United situation is because I believe it's going to be too expensive. And I do believe Lemens is a goalkeeper that we are seriously talking about it. But as everyone else is talking about this, let's discuss if you want. Manchester United are favourites, apparently, to sign Donnarumma. Discussions have taken place between the players' entourage and the club in recent hours. Now, I know Donnarumma might have been on the list, or the goalkeepers list, earlier on in the window. Well, there you go. So James Ducker, who is another journalist who's supposed to be reputable, is saying that Man United inquired about Donnarumma earlier in the summer. PSG were braced for United possibly coming back once they complete a deal for goalkeeper Lucas Chevalier from Lille. So, according to James Ducker, he believes that United did ask PSG what's going on with Donnarumma. They said he potentially could be up for sale, but we do need to get our goalkeeper in, Lucas Chevalier. And now that I think PSG might be on the verge of getting this goalkeeper, he's essentially saying that United could be looking at Donnarumma. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't see this. I think Donnarumma is on about 220 grand a week, and I can't see us giving any goalkeeper that kind of money. You guys let me know. You guys let me know about this situation, but I've reported to you. We can talk about it. Donnarumma is better than Onana. Donnarumma has improved. Donnarumma, yeah, he used to be a bit bozo-ish. Over the last few years, he has improved. And in that campaign, that Champions League campaign, he was pulling out some crazy, crazy saves. But PSG will still tell you that Donnarumma has mistakes in him. The thing is, if you guys want to get a goalkeeper that does not make any mistakes, it's impossible. I know we've bantered Onana to the point where we've destroyed his reputation. We've almost killed the player the way that we bantered him. And that's why I don't overly banter players, because I'm like, how are we going to sell players if we just destroy them? If we want to get a goalkeeper that doesn't make mistakes, impossible. Impossible. So that's why United, I keep saying, United are all about improving the attack so we can score more goals. If Onana still makes those 5 or 6 mistakes and lets in 5 or 6 goals, the idea is we now have an attack. We now have people who can score goals. So we should still be all right. I would get Donnarumma. I would get him. But I just don't believe this. There's something about this that I just don't believe, guys. So let's see the chat. Milton says they say the big players like Cristiano and Lampard used to stay behind after training, practicing their free kicks. I think, yeah, Milton, that should be something that's studied. Like, if you are a young player, yeah, and you're not staying behind like an hour after training to work on stuff, then there's something really wrong with you. I remember playing football for Tooting and Mitcham at the time, and an hour and a half after training, I was there just practicing. It's if you love football, you love football, and you want to play all the time. And training, yeah, isn't the most. I'm telling you guys, training is not the most exciting thing. Training is something. It takes a long. For me. It took a long time for me to enjoy training, because I just want to play matches. Training is boring. So when training is finished and I can do what I want and work on what I want, I am doing that. I'm doing that, Milton. 100%. Osman says Cup Winners' Cup was a sick tournament, proper football. Bro, I miss some of the old tournaments, man. And I think, Osman, when you're thinking about these tournaments, you're also thinking about the players as well that played in the tournaments that made it sick. And the players back then, I know I sound like an old man, and I know, but the players back then that we had, the individuality, the things that we used to see back then, like we used to see, back then, yeah, we saw at least 3 or 4 screamers every week. Every week, yeah, there was a banger from 25 yards into the top corner from somebody. Like, even now, players aren't taking that risk. Everything's all system. Everything's all like, give the ball to the winger, then overlap, then all these things. It's all too regimented the way we play football now. It's too systematic, bro. In my opinion. British Bulldog says, one thing I feel I have to say here is a family member you speak of is both not confirmed and could be disgruntled, no money. True. That is also true, but that's not correct because they were, it's legit. It's certified. I saw the evidence. British Bulldog still. I saw the evidence, but you're right. TK says, I don't like this Donnarumma rumor. I like that, TK. You don't like the Donnarumma rumor. You did it. You did well there. You did well. Either it's smoke and mirrors or he's using United to get a new deal. TK took the words out of my blood clot mouth. I think he's using United to get a new deal, but this is weird. This is a weird rumor, to be fair. Milton says, mind you, he just did a bad one involving Musiala. Maybe that's affected him. Yeah, like Donnarumma, yeah, is not a perfect goalkeeper. He's not Alisson, and even Alisson's not perfect. Donnarumma makes mistakes. I've seen him make mistakes in Champions League. So TK says, let's get Lemens over the line. I agree with TK on that one. Osman says, love 90s players, but even more so, just 2-legged knockout ties all the way through. Oh, yeah. None of these conference and league and multiple group stages. Just all the Europe's Cup winners face off in a tourney. Yeah, I guess now that money is so important, Oz, they're restructuring everything to get the most money out of the tournament rather than trying to construct the best tournament visually for the fans. And that makes sense. They're like, hold on, what tournament can we construct that has the most amount of games? The more games in the tournament means the more money, right? So football is just dying, man. Football is dying. I'm with you, Wisdom. I want him, but I don't believe it. Yeah. I don't believe the Donnarumma rumor. Donnarumma rumor. Ain't that funny. It's not that funny. It ain't that funny. All right. So that's Donnarumma. I thought I'd let you guys know. At least you guys know I've let you know, even though I don't believe in it. And, yesterday I saw it and I still didn't report on it. I didn't speak about it, but I thought, do you know what? Today, today. Let's bring it to the guys. Let's bring it to the chat and see what the chat is saying. I think this is good from Joshua Zirkzee, people. I like what he just said here. I like what Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee is a very interesting player. He's gone from getting booed off at half time. Well, not even half time. It was about 30 minutes into the game. He was booed, and it wasn't even his fault. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch. The manager just decided to use him as a scapegoat and take him off. But now, I feel like, especially the young fans, he's becoming a favorite. Joshua Zirkzee, like they sing it all the time. So very, very interesting arc that Joshua Zirkzee has had currently at Manchester United. So he's come out and he's said this, people. I don't read the news, but if another striker were to come, I guess it's only good competition, so I'm not really worried. Everything is for the this is the part that I was impressed with. Everything is for the team. There's no selfishness here. That's not my mantra. If it were to help the team, then great. And you can tell by the way he plays football. I don't care about me scoring goals. I'll make a run left. I'll make a run right. I'll drop into the hole. I'll bring others into play. His whole game is about others, not about himself. His whole game is about facilitating for others. And I always tell you, listen, a person's character and mentality in life sometimes shows up on the pitch with the way they play. If you're a selfish person, you might shoot all the time. You might think the world revolves around you, and your football will reflect that. Zirkzee comes across as a bit more selfless. He comes across as a selfless footballer, and I like the fact that, yes, he's not an out-and-out striker. He's not going to score you too many goals and all of these things. But the team, it's all about the team and helping the team. And if someone comes in and fights for my place, that's great because it's the team. That's what you want to hear. I'm telling you guys, if this was an interview with Garnacho and Garnacho was asked the same questions, the responses will be different. I don't think you'll be hearing the team this and the team that. You'll be hearing me, and I. Me, and I. So Zirkzee's my guy. I like Joshua Zirkzee. I still think he'll have a part to play. If the manager wants to start Sesko or Watkins and he's the second striker to come off the bench and provide something a bit different to what Watkins is doing to give us another sort of option, then I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So, interesting tweet interesting quote from Zirkzee. TK says, yep. Jerome Woods, I'm with you. Absolute Cinema. Milton says, the price of Le Mans is closer to what United may be looking to spend. Yes, Milton. So, Le Mans is being quoted around 15 to 20 million euros. That's what he's been quoted as costing. I wouldn't be surprised if we officially go in for him properly, that the club, the Belgian club, come out and say, oh, we want £20 million now. You know how they like to increase the fee on us just overnight. But the rumours are we can land this goalkeeper for about 20 million euros. So for me, go and get Le Mans. Just go and get him. What's next on the agenda, people? What is next on the agenda? All right. So, as I mentioned in the opening, guys, just for your information, so you know what is going on at Manchester United from a club standpoint, people. We can talk about rumours this and rumours that and transfers as we do, but we are supposed to support this club, so we need to know what the hell we are supporting. What is going on at the club? So, apparently, people, there have been new key appointments. Some of these appointments are simply people being promoted into positions that already existed, and some of them will be new positions, new roles being created. And then, therefore, you have to ask yourself, if some of these are new roles that didn't exist before, being created now, why didn't they exist? Why didn't we have these roles before? Was the club so badly run that some of these roles that we're now filling didn't exist? We didn't have them? Like what? Really? Anyway, let's read on. Let's read on. So, what has happened? What is happening? What is this Radcliffe in your spreader doing? Mike Sansoni has joined as Director of Data following 11 years with Mercedes AMG Formula One team, where he was most recently Senior Performance Engineer and contributed to 8 World Championship winning seasons. All right. The first question I have is, what does he know about football? I mean, off the back, let's do the negatives first. What does this guy know about football? So that's my first thing. However, you can argue he's the head of data, so he doesn't need to know too much about football. He needs to know about data. And if he's done something similar for Formula One and been involved in, 8 World Championship winning seasons, then can he bring that over to United? Because at the end of the day, I keep hearing that when it comes to data and recruitment, we're not good. Brighton, I've been told Brighton's data department is absolutely phenomenal. That's the reason Brighton can go and get Balebas and not Sesko, what's his name? Caicedo's. Because their data company that they use is absolutely phenomenal. When it comes to that sort of stuff, we are behind the curve. We are very, very behind the curve as a football club. So, yes, we should have somebody in charge of data. But this guy, I don't know. I'm not an expert when it comes to that. I'll leave it up to you guys in the chat to have a conversation about that. However, reading on, it says, Sansoni will be responsible for transforming the club's capabilities in data and artificial intelligence, drawing on his experience in machine learning and advanced modeling in Formula One. So it's almost like we're trying to beat what everyone else is doing. We're not bringing someone in to replicate what Brighton are doing. We want him to come and do something even more. Do something even more advanced with the data, with the technology, than what is currently being done anywhere. And we know Formula One, when it comes to data, that industry, it's crazy. It's crazy. You got to be able to read and understand all of this shit very, very quickly. The engines and all of these little things that come to Formula One. So if you can handle the data with regards to Formula One, it makes me feel like he should be able to handle football data, right? So, I don't know. Something for you guys to maybe think about if you're interested in this kind of thing. I try to cover a lot of things, not just on the pitch, but, what is going on inside the club. So, it goes on to read, Kirsten Ferber has been appointed People Director of Manchester United to take the lead in developing and evolving the club's workforce and people culture. We know Jim Radcliffe came in and just fired everybody. Like, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And now they've hired somebody who is essentially almost the head of culture, right? Well, head of people. She will join this autumn after 5 years as people director at the broadcaster Channel 4. To be fair, Channel 4 is actually a really good organization, and it's a non-profit organization. So to get somebody from Channel 4 who's going to be involved in culture and people is not a bad move. It's a decent move, actually. She's had prior spells, including at BBC and 20th Century Fox. So we're getting somebody who knows what she's doing.
She's got sports related.
She's also got sports related experience as an executive director of British Wheelchair Basketball. Okay. And the London Football Association. So she will sit on the board as well. So like, it's interesting. It's interesting to bring you guys this stuff. I need to know what Ineos are doing, because Ineos have come out and they've said so many things. They're in charge of the football side. They are. So they've been here for a while now, and the restructuring is still happening. Listen, I'm encouraged. Even though I do have questions about, why certain roles weren't filled before and so on and so forth. But that's here or there. They are, and they have, since coming here, they haven't been perfect, Ineos, but they have tried to restructure the club and bring it up to speed, bring it up to modern times, make the club more in line with other top quality institutions. They're now looking at trying to get a new stadium. These guys, the method might not be the best, and they have made mistakes, and they are in bed with the Glazers, and we can talk a lot of negatives with regard to Ineos. I can sit here all day and talk negatives, but there are positives, and they are trying to do something different. So I'll give them that at least. Anyway, this person's working underneath.
So she's the head, and then these people underneath her.
So these people will be working underneath the person I previously spoke about. She'll be leading this team I'm about to describe to you. Manchester United make Michael Farrell the first head of culture. Also promoted Dan Ransom to the role of head of psychology and performance lifestyle. So these roles need to be filled. We do need a head of psychology. We do need to understand footballers, understand their brains. In order to develop anybody, you need to have a good grasp of psychology. You do. You have to have a good grasp of psychology to develop any human being. So it's really good that Fergie probably didn't need that, because Fergie was already a psychologist. Fergie knows what to say to you to motivate you. He can read people really well, but it's harder to now. So we do need psychologists in the club. That's true. So these promotions, appointments, they are positive, and for me, it shows that Ineos are at least trying to do the right thing to bring the club back to where it should be. What's TK saying? TK says, we use a data company out of India. They wanted my credit card number for some reason. Oh, man. TK says, new appointment. Luke Shaw is now in charge of the menus at Old Trafford. He has also volunteered to repeatedly sample everything. You lot are stupid, I swear. You lot are crazy. Luke Shaw in charge of them. Listen, Luke Shaw would never be fit if he was in charge of the menu. Like, imagine Luke Shaw in charge of him. His knees will just buckle as soon as he gets on the pitch. Milton says, Wiz, is it possible that other clubs' problems in signing and closing deals for whatever reason might benefit a United bid? For example, Sesko. Yeah, 100%. 100%, Milton. I agree with you. Okay. Whoa, guys, this has now come out from Craig Hope, another reputable journalist. And this is breaking news at the moment. We are live, people. Osman in the chat alluded to this already. Some of you guys in the chat have already said this. That's why I called my chat the wise men. You guys are the wise men. Chosen Wisdom Football and the wise men. If Newcastle cannot sign Benjamin Sesko or another top striker, then they will not sell Alexander Isak. Boy, what does this mean? Well, we know what it means. It means exactly what it says. But what does it mean? I think they will get another striker in. I think if they don't get Sesko, because it says Benjamin Sesko or another top striker. So if they don't get Benjamin Sesko, they'll probably pivot to Jackson or something, and they'll probably get him. But this is encouraging news. We do not want Liverpool to get Isak. Osman doesn't want it. No Arsenal fan want it. No Man United, Man City. Nobody wants this. So let's keep an eye on this situation, because I would absolutely love if Isak, after all of that, throwing your tantrum, if Isak was forced to stay, that would be amazing. Let's see what Milton is saying. Jim Radcliffe is not a true football fan. He would then realise the requirements for the team is better if he was. Milton, I don't even understand how United fans got twanged by Jim Radcliffe. He was twerking to buy Chelsea and saying how much he loved Chelsea. And then he twerked for Man United and said how much he loves Man United. Like, he's not a Man United fan, but I don't know. He managed to convince people that he was. He spoke something about, keeping the ownership English and bringing Manchester back, Manchester United back to Manchester. He said some things that the fans liked, and all of a sudden, everyone kind of, loved him. I think a lot of people wanted the Qataris. I wanted the Qataris. I wanted a full sale of the club. The Qataris promised to buy a new stadium, to wipe off all of the debt. But no. The Glazers chose Jim. Jim chose to get in bed with the Glazers. And the funny thing is, people, I keep saying, all we hear now is Ineos. The Glazers still own 72% of the club. They managed yet to bring another man on board, Sir Jim, still own most of the club, and all of the energy is now on Ineos and Jim Radcliffe and not on them. They have played a blinder. They played it really well, Glazers. I hate them fuckers. Anyway, let's see what else is there to report to you guys before we wrap up.
Just talking about the game.
Okay, so let's summarize everything that we have spoken about today. The big news of today, of course, is Benjamin Sesko. United are leading the race. United have said, yes, we are interested. We are going to open talks with Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko, and Sesko apparently has said yes to Manchester United. So we are simply waiting for things to advance, and potentially, remember, you heard it from me, we could get, and here we go, on Friday. We also spoke about the fact that Hojlund could potentially be involved in a swap deal for Sesko. Leipzig want Hojlund. They are interested in him, but Hojlund, as we know, he's been saying this the whole summer, he's not interested in a move away. He wants to fight for his place. Let's see how that situation unfolds in the next few days or weeks. We also spoke about the fact that the Watkins situation isn't dead, people. It isn't dead. This tweet about Watkins came out before we heard about Sesko. We essentially want Villa to decrease their price for Watkins. We need Ollie Watkins to push the deal through and show us how much he wants the club. We are getting in a position where we have two strikers, people. Two strikers who both want Manchester United. And that hasn't been the case for a very long time. We need to, and what we're going to do is see which one bites, which one we can get for cheaper. Agree a deal with both strikers, personal terms with both strikers, and then let's see which club wants to give us the striker for the cheapest. That's what we are trying to do here with both Watkins and Sesko. It is clear we are trying to do that. So let's keep, well, we know we're going to keep our eye on this. We're going to, if anything breaks, we will be one of the first to provide you with the breaking news. We also know that Newcastle have made inquiry for Fulham striker. So we now kind of know internally that Newcastle perhaps have given up, have realized that they have lost out in this race, which brings the question. Newcastle have been slapped around like a bottom B word, right? So where are they going to go from here? What's the reputation at Newcastle? Newcastle are the richest club, I think, in the Premier League, potentially in the world. And they've been rejected by almost everybody. What does this mean for Newcastle? If I was a Newcastle owner, I'll sell up. I might sell up. Who knows? So that's what we spoke about. We also spoke about Luke Shaw's quotes. Very interesting quotes about stragglers. Quotes, I think certain quotes, certain things he said, he lacks self-reflection himself, but it is what it is. We spoke about Donnarumma rumours. Most of you guys in the chat don't think he's coming to Man United, which is fair. I don't think he's coming to Man United, so we can move on. We spoke about Xerxes' quotes. I like Xerxes' quotes. I like Xerxes, very humble. He spoke about the team, and it was a very unselfish quote. And I think that's the kind of attitude that we need in this football club going forward. So, yeah. We also spoke about the key appointments. As we know, we do need to get back to our great times. We need to be great again. I hate using the phrase great again, but we need to be great again. And internally, there are still things that we need to sort out. We've sorted out the structure. We do have now a director of football and all of these things that we didn't have. Don't forget, for about 5 years straight, as a fan base, we kept saying, why don't we have a director of football? Why don't we have a head of recruitment? Why don't we have all of these things that other clubs have? We now have them. We now have them, and we're having more. We're getting more. We're getting head of data. We're getting all of these things. So, good. Good. I've got nothing negative to say apart from, why didn't we do this before? Really. So that's the news, people. That is the news, most of the news. Let's see if there's anything breaking, anything else that's breaking before we wrap up. Before we might even talk about the game later on this morning. Let's see if there's any more news to report on, people. No, not really. Yeah. I don't think anything has broken since we've been live, people. No. What are people saying about the game later on? Are people going to be watching the game? Because the game's at 2:30 in the morning. And I don't know if I can stay up. And if people aren't watching it, then I'm not going to do a watch along for the game. Even though I want to, but it's way, way too late. And I'm going to be watching the game and I'm not going to be entertaining. I'm not going to be speaking. I'm going to be tired as hell. So I'm not sure how good the watch along is going to be if I do a watch along later on. But are people going to be staying up watching the game? And let me know, people. Newcastle is and has always been a stepping stone in a player's career. True, TK. No matter what they do, they can win the Champions League if they want, and they'll still be Newcastle. Who wants to go up and live in Newcastle? No offense to people in Newcastle. Newcastle, listen, might be a great place for the people who actually live there, who are from Newcastle. But if you're not from Newcastle, it might not be a place that you want to go and live. I don't know, guys. TK says, I'll watch it. But TK, you're like 5 hours. Yeah. This is when you're good, bro. This is when you're feeling good. Like, the 12 p.m. lunchtime kickoffs for you, TK, it's crazy because you got to be up by like 7 in the morning. But 2:30 in the morning kickoff. Yeah. You're good. You're good. I got to feel your pain now. You're right. You're right. I might do a watch along for the first half, and then go sleep. I'm still in two minds, bro. I don't know whether I can survive. That's the problem. I don't know whether I can survive, especially the way United play. United don't play entertaining football. I don't want to stay up here to watch a boring game as well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the watch along at those crazy hours. Osman says even people from Newcastle don't want to be in Newcastle. That's why there's so many of them now. So many of them follow the team on away trips to drink in other cities. Oh, Newcastle. Oh my gosh. They have been the whipping boys of this summer. Every time they come knocking on someone's door, the person opens the door and slams it in their face and walks away. Like, they walk around with the flipping referee outfit. They literally wear a referee's outfit. Black and white referee striped outfit. And they think people want to take them seriously, bro. Like, behave yourself. Newcastle, man. Oh, proper embarrassing, man. Why do birds fly upside down in Newcastle? Nothing good to show. Oh no, nothing good to shit on. Oh man, I'm sorry, people from Newcastle, but you guys gonna have to take the L, man. I'm not sorry, actually. You guys gonna have to take the L, bro. Like, stay in your lane. I think that's the moral of the story, Newcastle. Stay in your lane. How dare you qualify for the Champions League? How dare you? Like, who do you think you are? Stay in your lane. Give Liverpool Isak. Lose out on Sesko. Lose out on all these players and go away. Like, you qualify for the Champions League will be the one and only time. You're not doing it next year. You're not doing it again next year. So, it is what it is, people. The team. I think the team that will play later on today. Let's think about the team that will play. Can we get the team formation thing up? I know. You've used it. Like, we've used it. Yeah, let's see if we can select a team that will potentially start the game. The other one that we use to do the formation, the select. Or we can use that one. We can do that one, right? But we use another system, don't we? Yeah, guys. Let's see. Let's choose a team for later on, at least, because we know Brian Mbumo is not starting. Is not going to play until maybe the next game, and we know Xerxes not available. The question now is, are you starting Hojlund? If this Hojlund situation is going to heat up and we trying to offload him, are you starting Hojlund, people? Are you? All right, so this is what I believe the team will be later on, right? This is who, and I've got you guys jump in. This is not who I would pick. This is who I believe the manager will start in the game later on, right? So I think the manager will start Cheeto up front. Let's put Cheeto up front for now. Yeah, let's put Cheeto up front for now. I think it might be a similar lineup. I think it might be to put Cunha on that side. I think Cunha will start almost all the games in pre-season. I want to be. Let's do Bruno again in the 10. And the only reason why I think we might start in Bruno in the 10, people, is because I don't think there's a possibility anyway that Mbeumo won't be fit, won't be ready. And I think if he's not ready, you know, Bruno will play in the 10 again. So let's go with the same midfield, Kobe and Ugarte. Yeah, I think he will choose. I think even though he wants to give players minutes and he needs to, I think he might do Kobe and Ugarte again. The same wing backs. He might change. This is where I think he might change. He might do. Let's put the kid Leon. He's not there, isn't he? I think we had issues trying to find him before, didn't we? All right, he's there, isn't it? There you go. Even though I will start Dorgu. Let's put Dallo on the right. Yeah, we will do. We will do Dillit. Mazraoui. There you go. And Lenny. There you go, guys. This is what I think, and obviously buying there. There you go, people. Let's read the chat before I comment on this team. Osman says Hojlund would need big pay rise to step down to a smaller club and leave the Premier League. Sesko part swap may benefit both clubs, but if it doesn't benefit Hojlund, all players want to be in the Premier League and get Premier League money. Yeah, I hear you. That's true. But fuck Hojlund though. No, you're right though. You're right. Quite interesting because in my mind I'm thinking if he's not playing and he doesn't get to play, which is what is going to happen if he stays, he's not going to get into the World Cup. He's not going to go there. Like this is the season where people want to go to the World Cup as well. So I feel like if we tell Hojlund that he's not going to play football, surely he's going to want to find a move. Let me know, guys, what you think of this team. This is just a team that I think will start in the game. This is not the team that I want to start against Arsenal in August. This is not the team that I would start. This is who I think the manager will start. I think I think he wants to see Dallo. We haven't seen Dallo start. We've seen Leon start, but you know, I think he might still go with Dorgu as well as a left wing back. But we haven't seen Mazraoui. Mazraoui didn't start the last game. It was Lenny Euro who started the last game. And Heaven, even though I like Heaven, I think he might want to see this back three. Because pre-season, guys, is not just about, you know, playing your favourite players. It's about trying things and trying different combinations. And if Hojlund is potentially leaving, I can't see Hojlund starting later on. Obi might start. So, and then again, I'm looking at this team and I'm like, do I want to stay up till 2:30 in the morning to watch this team play football? Because as much as we improved, right? From the Leeds game to the West Ham game, we have improved. However, I'm not one of those YouTubers that say that we were great and we were good. We weren't good against West Ham. We were just better than we were in the previous game. We made progress. But if you go from really, really crap to just half bad, it doesn't mean you were good. It just means you just improved. And I feel like this team is getting better, but it's still not there yet. So this is what I believe the manager will play, and give some people a run out. Don't be surprised if Casemiro plays the second half, and rather than doing a 60-minute thing, don't be surprised if they play longer, 70 to 80 minutes. And don't also be surprised if one or two players only get 45 minutes because they have played a few games. So let me know, like I said, who else is watching the game later on. That's who I think we will play. Yeah. And that is all, guys. That is all for this session. Yeah, let's. Jerome says, I was thinking that too, Wisdom, about the time, but Bournemouth will be our biggest test so far. So let's see where we're at. Okay. Yeah, Bournemouth for sure will be a bigger test than West Ham. That's why I wasn't too excited about the West Ham performance as well, because I honestly believe, guys, that West Ham might get relegated this season, or at least once again will be there or thereabouts down near the bottom. Bournemouth will be a bigger test. Bournemouth definitely, Jerome, you're right, will be a bigger test. It might even be I think it'll be a better match. So Jerome is kind of like gassing me up a little bit. It's making me want to stay up and watch the game. I might have to sleep, do a little power nap thing, like at midnight or something, and wake up. Even that sounds crazy. We'll see, guys. Like, I'm not promising a watch along because I can kind of sense, I can feel that if I do a watch along, I might not even, get that many views and that sort of thing. So would it be worthwhile? Would it be worth my effort? You have to do all this calculation. It doesn't mean, would I be able to wake up in the morning? Or will I just be like dead? I'm thinking about all these things. But like you said, Jerome, you're kind of talking me into it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I might. Let's see what happens. I might do the first half, and if it's a good match, I'll just soldier it, bro. Get my Red Bull and maybe soldier it. We'll see. We'll see, people. But that is what I believe the team will be later on. Diego Leon, I think a lot of people are getting gassed about Dorgu. I like Dorgu, and I've always said to people who started writing him off very early, I said, I don't really get this. You've given someone like Garnacho 2 years. You've given Hojlund 2 years. Anthony gets 2 years. But Dorgu gets 3 months and you're already writing him off. I've always said that I saw Dorgu make so many runs and do so many things on that left-hand side with Garnacho, but Garnacho just kept ignoring him and ignoring him and ignoring him. And I kept saying to myself, what happens if Dorgu plays with somebody competent? When he makes runs, they actually find him and they actually give him the ball. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing link up between Cunha, especially in the last match, Cunha down that side, Mainu, who was down that side, yeah, and also Heaven, that was down that side. The link up between those players was good at times, really good at times, and we saw a more aggressive and purposeful Dorgu, especially with the runs he was making. They were very deliberate. In fact, Dorgu, we saw more of Dorgu than we did of Amad Diallo. We did, if we're going to be completely honest with the game that we saw against West Ham. The right-hand side, because Bruno is not a number 10 and he can't really play that well there, he can't really play between the lines. And because Ugarte was also on that side, we didn't have the same synergy on the right-hand side against West Ham that we did it on the left-hand side. We didn't. And we need to correct that. I know Mbeumo's going to come in, so when Mbeumo comes in, it will be different as well. But, yeah, I think as much as I like Heaven, and I did want Heaven and Lenny Euro at the back, I do actually think this back three, Mazraoui, Delit, and Mazraoui, Delit, and Euro is probably our best back three. Probably. Why not? Let's look at the table. I saw that table up. I should have recorded this and have it as my match preview. You're dragging it over. This is, guys, this is the league, you know, because technically speaking, this is a competition that we're in. It's a pre-season competition, but it's a competition, and this is the league. And Bournemouth are currently top, you know, 3 points each. And even though it's a pre-season competition, it doesn't mean much. But I want to win this. I want to win this competition. Why not? Why can't we? So TK says, no Onana equals my PTSD in check. The only reason why I haven't put Onana in, TK, is because he's not ready to play. If he was, I'll throw him in. Unfortunately for all of us. Unfortunately for all of us. And it will have you rocking back and forward, TK. And I apologize for it. Listen, Onana's not really going anywhere. And if we do, listen, we need to understand this. Onana's not going anywhere. And if we were to get Lemens is not walking in as the first choice striker. Not straight away anyway. Not straight away. Lemens is somebody that comes in here or there, and we hope eventually will take the #1 spot, but he's not going to take the #1 spot straight away. He isn't. So I think we also need to come to that reality. Unfortunately, that's just the case at the moment. Unless we get someone like Donnarumma, who he would definitely be first choice. Straight away. I think we're just going to see what Bournemouth's starting lineup could be. But it's hard to sort of guess what the lineup could be. So maybe closer to the game, if we are live, we will talk about the Bournemouth team. But, you know, hold on 1 second. Let's see what we have here. No. Okay, guys. All right. Nobody's talking about Bournemouth anyway. So there you go, guys. That was your session today. That's transfer talk and a little bit about the match later on tonight. A little bit of a pre-match preview, but not really a pre-match preview, but just a little bit. Like I said, let me know if you guys are watching it. If you guys are watching it, I will do a watch along and we'll just watch the game together as a community. Big up all the wise men in the chat. As usual, it's been fantastic. Benjamin Bumbleclaw Sesko. Sub-Zero Sesko. Remember, you heard that here first on this channel. If we don't sign Sesko, he's Benjamin Tesco. Right? If Benjamin Sesko went to Arsenal, we would be calling him Benjamin Tesco. But now that he's potentially coming to Man United, we will be shameless and we will call him Sub-Zero Sesko. Yeah, he's called the ICEMAN for a reason. And I know we had our own ICEMAN in Victor Lindelof, but he was a defender. As a defender, you shouldn't have a nickname like that. So slick. Slick nicknames are for midfielders and for strikers. So, Benjamin Sesko is the Iceman, aka Sub-Zero Sesko. When he scores, we will be calling him on this channel Sub-Zero Sesko. SSS. No, it's not even SSS because zero's a Z. I need to go back to school. Sub-Zero Sesko is on his way to Manchester United, people. And when he scores against Arsenal and we beat Arsenal 4-0 on Gyökeres is on the pitch, we will celebrate. And we will do the Cole Palmer thing. We'll do that. But anyway, we also, I mean, since we are playing Bournemouth tomorrow, we'll have a look at Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson is a striker that we have been linked to. Clearly, we're not going to get him anymore. But we'll have a look at him. No, I just to see what how good he is. We will scout him against Manchester United, people. But big up the chat. Please, people, if you're new or even if you're not new, smash the like. It's a brand new channel and every bit of interaction matters. We're moving up, people. We're going places, but we can't go nowhere without you guys, without the wise men, without the wise football people, without the chat, man. So big up yourselves, people. It's been lovely. It's moving, guys. We are definitely going to get a striker. We are in for a striker. It is serious. I think we will get a here we go by close of play next Friday, the latest. I originally thought maybe mid-August, towards the end of August. But now that this thing has sped up, I can see us now doing something by the end of play next week, Friday. I can see it happening. Which is quicker than what we wanted to do things. But it is what it is. Get the players in for the manager quickly. Let's not do the whole... And I think sometimes we take long, yes, so we don't have to pay people wages. Like, if you sign somebody now rather than a month before, that's a month's worth of wages we don't have to pay. And if you're getting paid 200 grand a week, that's £1 million that we've saved by not signing you now. I sometimes feel like the Glazers, especially the Glazers back in the day, take long, sign players late in the window so they don't have to pay them as much. Listen, I wouldn't put it past these guys. I wouldn't. But big up people. Big up yourself. Jerome, TK, Turkish, Osman, love bro, Milton, British Bulldog, BB, all of you guys, AP. Let's keep growing, man. Let's keep doing it. If anything happens, I will be live to chat your ears off, as I always do. Talk about the news, bring it to your attention so you guys can either diss it, be happy, be angry, and say whatever you want to say. Big up your damn selves. It's almost 9 o'clock. Great show. Amazing. And I'll see you guys either later on tonight or same time tomorrow. Big up, people. Your boy is